All right, what's up, guys? Welcome to my channel, TMossBoss Q&A. And in today's video, I feel like this was a long overdue video, but it's an idea that I've been sitting on for a minute now. And I'm like, I don't know why. I just, I get caught up busy with other channels. For those that don't know, I do have 49 other different YouTube channels. Some of you guys may know who I am, but if not, like this is your first time watching any of my content and stuff, yeah, I'm a busy person, So, but anyways, no, answering that question, how to deal with an heartbreak. Honestly, the best advice that I can give you is to find something to keep your mind busy. Whether because I see a lot of times people be hitting the gym. I know for me, when I went through it, it's because I went through it a couple of times. I've had my heart broken twice in my life. And it was the first time around because I really don't remember too much of what I did. I just remember I was very isolated. Like I kept to myself, wasn't really telling nobody about what I was going through and stuff. And so I think that time around I managed it a little bit better. But the second time around I fell apart. Like I ain't even gonna lie to you guys. No, I fell apart. I was actually gonna quit content creating. What else? And then on top of that, COVID had just happened. So yeah, that was like extreme isolation. That was definitely a time frame I wouldn't wish that on anybody. I wouldn't even wish that on my worst enemy. Like it's definitely one of those things where I'll from time to time think about how that was, like that time frame. And it was scary. It was extremely scary, being in a mindset where I wasn't going to do anything dramatic, but at the same time I just did not care about life no more. Like I was like, hey, whatever happens, happens. Like I don't have, I didn't see no goals. I didn't see no future. I didn't see nothing. Like that's how bad it was. And man, like I even just now saying it and stuff, it's like, I don't like looking at myself in that way. Like I don't like being in that mindset. So yeah, that's why I'm like, I'm a little bit more skeptical now. It's like if I see I guess like love coming from the other side, then yeah, then that's when I'll pursue. But if not, then yeah, I like I said, I keep to myself. Like I pay attention to that stuff a little bit better now. So but no, overall though, I know for me how I got through it was the second time around was content creating. So yeah, like I said, I did almost quit content creating, but I had and I was, because I was like, no, I'm done. Like I already had it, kind of just was gonna say like, oh, I'm, just gonna take me a little break, but no, I was just going to disappear. I was like, I'm not mentally in the right mind to do content creating. But I remember the first time around, because the first time when I had my heart broken, it was when I was in high school. I wasn't really into content. I mean, I was, but I wasn't as serious about it as I was, like compared to now. But I do remember when 2015, like it really just took away a lot of different stress and just problems that I was going through, to where, yeah, I wasn't even thinking about that stuff no more when I did get into content creating. So yeah, so yeah, 2020, I had I started going crazy. I honestly, I would have to say that was like the best possible like time frame of me, like because I was like I was working out like crazy. Like no, this is what I would do. So I would wake up, eat breakfast, go outside, jog for like 5 miles straight, because I signed up for this like this program where I was like jogging and stuff. So I would jog 5 miles straight, was doing this every day, come home, record a bunch of different videos. Later on that night, go to get ready to go to bed, do like maybe three, depending on like, because I remember I started off in the beginning of the year just kind of doing like 20 push-ups, and then eventually I was just working my way to just doing more and more. So yeah, by the end of that year, I was capable of doing 3 to 400 push-ups, and then yeah, then just recording. I hadn't gotten into streaming just yet, but yeah, then later on that year, because I was kind of going through some stuff with YouTube, so I did get into streaming. That did kind of like, take my mind off of things. But yeah, just keep your mind busy. That's honestly the best thing that you can do, is just find something and just go after it, attack it, just keep your mind focused on whatever it is. So it's like if you're playing a video game, and that's why I'm all like, just find things to, and I guess like, just speaking from my own experience, like if you're like, hey, is content creating a good thing? It worked for me, So yeah, that's why I'm like, if you guys want to get into content creating, then hey, that's your choice. But if there is something out there where it's like, oh, I do this when things just kind of get a little bit too overwhelming, and then yeah, heartbreaks and all that stuff. Yeah, go after that, because it was I could just say for me, yeah, content creating, it definitely was a safe place. Like I felt good, when I was just able to just do videos and just talk about whatever and do whatever. And honestly, yeah, it's like, it's a full-time job now, So yeah, man, it's like when it came down to content creating, I was up day and night with it. Like I was, yeah, because it was after, so yeah, getting ready for bed. I'll just pretty much be up until like maybe 2 3 in the morning recording videos, and then yeah, then eventually go to sleep. I know that that probably wasn't the healthiest lifestyle, but at the same time I'm like, it did in a way help me with the heartbreak stuff and all that. So yeah, but yeah, it's one of those things where I know people probably would ask that question too, like, am I afraid of it happening again? Yes, like that's something that always crosses my mind. Like, what if I go through it and it's worse than last time? Because last time I would say that was definitely, because it stuck with me for a while. Like it, because the whole situation, I ain't gonna really get into detail, but the whole situation, it started in 2020. And the girl that I was interested in, like I had feelings for her, for because we met, I think it was like in 2017. We were cool. I thought like everything was cool. At least my, and that's the thing. I just think that that was just bad on my part to think that a relationship could have came out of it and stuff, But overall, now I realized that I'm like, yeah, it's, if she broke me down that badly, is just not, us not even being in a relationship. I can imagine it's like, yeah, us being in a relationship. I think whatever deep depression that I was in back in 2020, it probably would have been like 10 times worse, like, because this is somebody where it's just, because and the thing is this, like, I felt close with this person. Like I felt like this was the one time where I felt that this was some, not saying like my family don't care about me. Obviously, your family's gonna love you regardless, but like somebody that's not family, somebody that's not blood, and you think you feel a connection with them, and then you realize like, yeah, that connection ain't there. So yeah, 2020 came around, and it started then, and then like the heartbreak stuff and the deep depression and all that. I remember I cried for the first time in years. I think the last time I had cried was like 5 years prior before that, because it was a family member that I was worried about. And I was like, man, I wasn't in the position to help them, because I didn't even have no money, myself, to help them out and things. So I thought they were gonna be in this situation, and I'm crying my eyes out thinking like, dang, like I don't want nothing to happen to them and stuff, But it worked out for that family member, just in case y'all was wondering. But no, overall though, I cried for the first time in years. And then yeah, I was down and out all the way up until I think because I think I had, because no, so that was the thing, was that I still remained friends with the girl, and I know people are probably all like, that wasn't a good idea, and yeah, it wasn't, because it just felt like every time I would talk with her, anytime when I see her post on social media, it just seemed like it was just like that constant circle, because like fam, like it was from that. And then there would be times like where I would like have dreams about her and stuff. And I'm like, I don't want this no more. Like I want this to stop. So no, in 2023, I reached out to her and I told her, I was like, hey, look, I text her. I know probably people was like, oh, you should have met up. And I was like, that was the thing. Anytime when I did want to like hang out or whatever, and it's the funny thing is like, a lot of stuff I started realizing it after the fact, but no, it was like, I remember times before I asked her, oh, let's hang out, let's do this, let's do that. And it was always, oh, I'm busy doing this, I'm busy doing. I remember there was a time where we were both in Seattle, and I think she was there working, but I was like, yeah, I'll drop off some lunch or something, in case if you wanted some or whatever. And yeah, just always declined, rejected, all that stuff. And so I started realizing that. And then, but it was just a lot of things that was hitting me, I remember in 2023 about her. And so that's when I was like, Nah, I sent her this long text message because I don't know. I don't know like how it would have worked out, I guess, if I did meet up. But I'm like, I'm not gonna waste my time and energy meeting up with her and stuff. So I'm like, yeah, texting texting is probably the best invention. All right. It's like the best invention since fire. But no, overall though, I reached out to her and I told her, I was like, yeah, it's I just can't be, friends with you, like not in this state. But now that I think about it, I'm like, nah, it just seemed like it was always something depressing, like I ain't gonna lie, like no, they're out of that friendship. I have to say that was definitely one of the best friendships that a person can ever experience, like, the good days. But then there was those bad days where I'm like, I don't ever want to have those bad days again. Like when them bad days brought out more emotions than the good days. Yeah, that is one of those things where I'm like, hey, I wish her the best in life. I highly doubt she'll, be watching my videos and stuff. But let's say if she was to come across this video, I'm more at peace with myself now than I was back then. Probably back then I wouldn't be saying no stuff like this, but now it's like, no, it's like I do wish her the best in life. It's one of those things where it's like I got into like reading the Bible. As you guys can see, I got two Bibles. I'm just kind of just going back and forth reading between them, and that's one thing that I have been doing is praying a lot. And no, it's like that's one thing that I'll like pray and ask is just, overall, like those that I talk to and no longer talk to, I hope they're doing good in life. I hope they reach their destinations, their dreams, their goals, all that stuff, because yeah, at the end of the day, it's like I feel like that just going through life, it's like you have to be at peace. And yeah, but I will say, like from 2020 and 2020, from that time frame, I was not at peace. Like I definitely was not at peace. When you get to a point in your life when you're just careless and you're not at peace with yourself. So that's a bad mindset to be a part of. But overall though, yeah, just overall, like going over kind of just summarizing everything that I went or not went through, but how to get through a heartbreak. So yeah, find a hobby or find a career, find something that could take your mind off of things. Cut that person off, because that honestly, mentally, that is the best thing for you. Cut that person off. Hopefully they understand. If they don't, then it's like, okay, well, you have to understand that I'm not mentally well. Like, I guess, like, if there was, because it wasn't even a conversation after I did send her that text message. It was just, unfriend and unfollow everywhere and stuff. So I was like, that's probably good and things. But overall, I think if it was a conversation where it's like, why am I doing this to her? Like, her, if she, I guess, was going to try to do that, paint me out as like the suspect and her as the victim, I'm like, you don't know what I went through. Like that's one thing for sure. It's like, no, you're not gonna be the victim in this situation. Nah, it's one of those things where I'm like, you wasn't up in the middle of the night crying your eyes out like on multiple nights. Like that was one thing where I was like, man, I did not like that. I don't like crying. I don't like being emotional. I don't like that type of stuff. So it's like you bring that out of me, and then this deep depression, me, willing to just throw like pretty much my whole life away. No, I'm sorry, but it's like that's one of the, you're not gonna do that, and you're the one that rejected me. Like I don't get how that would have worked out and stuff. So yeah, this video, it's like it's answering a question, but at the same time just kind of like venting and stuff, because yeah, it's one of those things where I'm like, I just can't go, or continue on down that route. I'm like, nah, eventually I had to stop that vehicle and get out, and I'm like, and backtrack, just get out of that situation and stuff. But no, but again though, like I said, like I am working on being a more forgiving person. So yeah, it's like I hope and pray that life is good for her and all that stuff. Everything's chill, cool, like I would like to think that I'm not an individual that's crossing her mind. Like I imagine maybe possibly, I don't know. But yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, live your life, be happy, do well. I'm gonna do the same, so but and overall I feel like that's the best way possible to get through a heartbreak, so but anyways, with that being said, I will talk to y'all later. Thank you guys for watching. Like, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and peace.